Hello, 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 and welcome back to another live stream. How's it going, everyone? Hello, Pseudo Kid. Hello, Stormrun. How you guys doing? Apparently, I had you open it in a tab. Should I be insulted? I can't tell. Can't tell if this is like, hey, this is convenient, or hey, I don't want to be here and I just had you open, so I'm gonna go somewhere else. So there's just setting. It's could go either way. So I'll go in the middle. I'm slightly insulted and slightly thankful. Let's go in the middle. Then you gotta reset your graphics card in a bit. It's cuts out every minute or so since your cat jumped off your PC earlier. Fun. I had it open from yesterday. Yeah, I figured. The question is, if you had my tab open since yesterday, how many tabs do you have open in general? Because I always close the tab or use it for something else immediately after I'm done with it. But I have a feeling that you're someone that has a lot of tabs open. $10,002? You think he has 10,002 tabs, or what do you mean 10,002? We're chilling, and then your music came on. I was like, oh, what's going on? Why do I have double music? Oh, did you open another tab with my stream? Is that why you said double? Or do you mean double like you were listening to your own music? Anyways, either way. Twitch has a bigger delay than YouTube? That is very weird. That is very weird. Because Twitch should definitely have a shorter delay. If it has a longer delay, that is, yeah, that's not normal. Let's not ask questions we don't want the answers to. I think that answers the question. Thank you. Hey, that's welcome, man. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. If you keep the stream channel going after it ends and you start the next day, it will just start showing you. Yes. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Can I have my birthday present be video ideas for Sunday? I'm desperate. I like today I spent so much time trying to use the scene capture node and trying to do like depth capture with it and stuff like that, and it doesn't work the way I want it to. And even when it does, I'm realizing that there's just better ways of doing whatever I can get it to do. I don't know what to make a video on. Twitch delay for you is rather large. Try refreshing. Refreshing sometimes helps. Thank you, Stormrun. Coming to you from your birthday cake island? No, Skronek. No. I had a piece of chocolate cake. That was my cake. One of your windows, is it icons only and the other windows almost icon only? Dear God. Wait, what? Mass AI using blueprints only. What about it? The water is milk? What? Okay, you guys, I have no idea what you guys are talking about anymore. You lost me. You lost me. Breakdown of your Japanese street scene. You liked anything more? People would like something a little more in depth so they could copy what you did. I mean, the thing is from over a decade ago. It was literally my first environment that I did. Consider it has like 170 views. I don't think very many people are interested in it. Just throwing it out there. Oh, Jasmine, welcome in. Thank you very much. You're one of the views. Well, thank you. But basically, all I did for that was literally, I'll have Street View open and just measurements and eyeball. And then just little by little, build everything. Just takes time. Is the shorts version doing good too? Wait, two, is that a sarcastic two? The short version is 2.6K on YouTube. It's not horrible for me. How's it on TikTok? Probably the low numbers, probably 200 something. 322. Yeah, low. 8 a.m. breakthrough. Around 200-300 is around where like one of the benchmarks is. Hey Mangaruki, welcome in and thank you very much. Much appreciated. You said the shorts version only? Yeah. There's the full video. It's less than 3 minutes long. Came out today because I was like, I don't know what to make a video on for today. Delay won't go away. Well, welcome in, Emmett, to the YouTube side. Only saw the shorts video. Well, there's a video that came out today. It clearly is not being recommended to anybody. that explains things. It's under 3 minutes long. It's not a very long video. It's just the full length of that segment, basically, where you see like also the modeling stuff of that and the other side and a little more. So go check it out if you want. But if you guys have ideas of anything to make a video on for Sunday, I'm very open to hear it. Because I was saying earlier, I was trying to do the scene capture stuff, and there's just nothing there. Mass AI. I mean, I'll gladly make a video of mass AI if you show me how to do it, how to use it with blueprints. Like I could use it and explain it and make a video on it in one place, you know, one-stop place for it. Sure, but I need to understand it and all that. I also tried figuring out the Python thing, the Python interrupt for PCG. Failed miserably on there too. There's a lot of failure today. Trick is smart objects plus mass AI. What is smart objects? Procedural suspension bridge that you can break. Oh, like a physics one? There is the cable, there's the cable thing. The problem with the breaking is PCG is not meant to be moved at runtime. So it wouldn't really work very easily. Smart object kind of cool, but I don't fully understand them yet. I don't know what smart objects are. I reached 56. Well, you're 20 years off. You know, that's less than half, so you're pretty good. I leveled up today. I leveled up. Thank you, Emmett. I appreciate it. For those that weren't here yesterday, I did some fun stuff. We did some fun stuff yesterday. We have 3 abilities now. Hey, Kanzari, welcome in. Whack. That was ability 1. Whack. Ability 2. Whack. I got him. Ability 3. Yeah. Whack. And it works with where is it? Radial burst. Yeah. Attacks from all sides. Let me go over here. Here, come, everyone, come here. Bam. Yeah. So yeah, we had a little bit of fun with this yesterday. Anyway. Thinking about adding any environmental challenge? Like what? What do you mean? What do you consider, like, places like traps and stuff like that? Yeah. Yeah, that's later on. Hey Simon, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I definitely want to do stuff like that for different maps and everything and stuff like that. Mass AI with blueprint requires smart objects, stage tree, zone graph, or nav mesh. This zone graph. You're making a new third level mate spell. Yeah, well, that was, yeah. I mean, I did yesterday. Nothing new. Watching vids on PCG and just want to say thanks. You're welcome. Give me a new video to make for Sunday, Simon. I need help. Zone graph is a spline-based nav mesh. Have not heard of it. Have not heard of it. Good to know. One thing I realized yesterday is this attack. Go in here. Optimization video. I mean, BCG is already optimized for, like, unless you're doing runtime stuff. Like, PCG already does instance meshes automatically, at which point you optimize the meshes, not the PCG graph. PCG graph is basically free. There's not much to, quote unquote, optimize. This effect, right? This effect is the Niagara effect. I should be able to just spawn this the same way I spawn this, which means I can remove the all the functionality of this from my character to make it even simpler. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let me just double check. Yep, here. Plus, it will fix some of the issues that I have. Spawn Niagara Tech. Now, much research about optimization in UE5. I mean, if you need like GPU optimization, there's a few tutorials on it. It's just PCG itself doesn't need much optimization because PCG is just a point scatter, right? It just spawns things for you. The things that would need to be optimized are the things you're spawning. more so than the PCG graph itself. Now, it does need to be optimized when you're doing runtime, but for that you would need to know GPU. For that you need HLSL, which I don't know, unfortunately. So there's a limited amount of stuff I can help on the runtime front. Generating big trees and rocks with collisions on CPU. You then generate grass clutter using GPU compute, but you're trying to find the best way to mask points generated on CPU node. I mean, just use a difference node, no? You could use a difference node. Cut out the area around it. Or do you need something else? Oh, this would need to also be able to be scaled then with cleave. Okay, odd. I couldn't. Okay. Then click into it. 0.75. I'll probably need to offset it as well. But we'll see. Trying to find the best way to mask points generated on the CPU nodes. Passing data from CPU is mega costly. Are you doing it at runtime? That's what I'm saying. Like runtime, I'm not very knowledgeable in, because GPU requires HLSL, and then I'm lost because I don't know HLSL. I assume you're. Well, I guess you have to be using runtime because it's GPU, which requires HLSL. Right, you have a way to generate your level. You have a way of generating a level. But how to run through dungeon generation, deciding where connections rooms are? I don't generate my stuff. I use a plugin for that. That's not PCG. That's a $300 plugin. That's designed in C++. I got placing geometry decals and terrain hugging. Like decals for blending rocks and moss on uneven terrain. I mean, that's just spawn. They just spawn a decal, right? You can just spawn actor, decal, done. Unless they're missing something there. That's all you need to do. If it's all within the custom HLSL node, yeah, I'm not HLSL knowledgeable either. Yeah. Yeah, GPU is runtime. Procedural weather effects? Yeah, because I've never done procedural weather effects. That's why I've never covered it. And that's a material stuff. It'd be awesome if something-minded people can produce a tutorial on how AAA game makes optimizations. Lumen versus baked lighting. Well, Lumen is dynamic. Baked is not dynamic. Does your lighting in the environment change? If the answer is no, you want to go with baked. If the answer is yes, then you want to go with dynamic. That's it. It's the question ends there. Because baked lighting is 100 times more performant than dynamic lighting. And that's not even an exaggeration in the amounts. Depending on your dynamic lighting, it'll be 100 times. Alba, thank you so much for the gift sub. I appreciate it. Welcome in. Hello, Blue Steer Zebra. How's it going, guys? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for another one. Appreciate it, Alba. Thank you, thank you. You're both running into HLSL brick wall, yeah. Apparently, they're working on stuff for in the future to remove the need for HLSL, but until then, yeah, I'm not a coder. You do procedural and weather in Niagara? You need to apply. Weather has changed on materials, though. You need to apply all the effects on the materials. Like, yeah, you can do the rain effect and the particles for the rain, but I'm not a Niagara guy. I couldn't tell you how to set up an Niagara system that does like good effects. I'm, not a particle guy. And then the other stuff is all material stuff, which you just need a mask. And if you're using dynamic Southern Sky, is that the one? It has a system all for it. Yep. Yep. So a lot of stuff I'm running into the problem, as you can tell, where things are either very complicated or are solved with one nodes. You're grateful for the PCG Conal? I'm glad it resolved. Yeah. It's running out though. I was really hopeful for 5.7. I was hopeful that 5.7 is gonna get me like, here's all this new awesome content I can make, and like the polygon stuff is cool, but I don't think it's multiple videos cool, and that's really it. It's all there is to make videos on. At least for me. I'll pull up the roadmap one more time. All right. Editor mode's not in, but that's not, like, once it's released, maybe a video on it. That's it. The vegetation editor is PCG, but it's not much on it right now. Like, other people have done pretty good videos on it, so I don't feel like I can add more than they've already done. This is not really anything to make a video on. Did a video on this. GPU, all HLSL still. Passive. Doesn't... As far as I can tell, I can't get it to work. It's freaking coding. I don't know what to put in here. There's no documentation. So I couldn't tell you what to do. As you can see, the node has no outputs. And it's not like you can just press plus and add an output or an input. This is it. This is all you get. So I don't know what it even expects. So yeah, I don't... 5.7 is a little bare bones for me. It is what it is. So your opinion on their new system for trees as a whole? I mean, the system seems good. At least right now, there's no way to make your own trees, though. Which is kind of a big deal. But it's experimental, so, yeah, not everything's going to be in there. So, Once you can make your own trees, yeah, it'll be cool. If you don't know, the trees require JSON files, basically, which are not made inside of Unreal. How they're made, I don't know. Where they come from, no idea. The idea of creating all trees with a Temu speed tree all within PCG Graph seems pretty shit to you. Not in love with Epic solution. I mean, the thing is, it just has to be like simple enough and get you enough of a basic version where you can just use that. Because it's the same thing with PCG and Houdini. If you want amazing effects and amazing point scattering and all that, you just go to Houdini. You don't use PCG. Right? PCG is a baby Houdini. Where Houdini is Gandalf, or insert epic level person there. And PCG's a baby. You know? Same thing. Yeah, you're not gonna be if you use Speed Tree, you'll be like using Houdini for it's equivalent. So making one project out of all the past videos would be cool. That would be like a multi-month project to do that, and then do what? Like, I'm not showing anything new. Let's go next with that. That's the thing. I'm not showing anything new. So it's like, oh, here's all my stuff rehashed. Hey, Warmo, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. KS Fluid seem neat. I've never played with them. I don't think I've ever even seen them. So I'll take your word for it.
Ads are here. Pausing for ads.
Actually, I should do. Probably this to a local variable. Bear with me, but it seems like to get the performance benefits in their new systems, you'll have to be created using nanite assembly using the PCG graph. You benefit from GPU skeletal animation. Maybe, maybe not. It's possible you could bring in your own trees, but to be fair, Speed Tree also has like ways to do animations, if I recall. So at which point you only need to have the new nanite tree stuff applied to it, I assume. I package my game every month, Jasmine, for Patreon. It's 3 gigs right now. Give roughly. How do you make a basic blueprint function in C++? I don't code. No idea. Go and tell you. Couldn't tell you even if I tried. Yeah, for anyone that's new here, I don't code. I have 0 coding prowess. Sorry. I make everything in blueprints. Everything is blueprints. Everything. Thanks, Leo. codeless tech artist here. Yep, yep. Did you also start as an artist that became a tech artist? That's how it is for me. I was an artist that became a tech artist. And so I don't code. And I've tried coding multiple times. I just get bored. The syntax, man, I can't do the syntax. I just... Node-based, like, I understand. Clearly, I understand programming as, like, a concept. But just the syntax. You can't... Just reading it all... Nah, not for me. Not for me. Cleave scale. And I'll just make this 1 by default, so by default it'll basically be off. Cleave scale multiplier. Cleave scale's fine. What kind of art do I do? Arsu tended to pick up all the technical tasks nobody else wanted, kind of liked it, so yeah, I became a tech artist by coding. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, you're like me. Where C++ blueprint function use U function? Yeah. What's your take on the latest Epic Fab free selection? The AI, there's an AI generated one? I grabbed the recent ones. Wait. Did I miss one of the, was AI generated? I mean, I didn't really look at these very much. I mean, there's this environment, right? There's this that didn't seem very exciting. And then there's this, which are both like not much here. Like there's just not much here. Yeah, this one look all right. Scroll down. Hey, Duty, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. All other assets the studio have uploaded don't state AI generated, just this one. The cathedral one. Or does it say AI? What? Oh, generative AI, yes. Well, okay, generative AI does not mean like the models are AI. It might mean that they have some textures that are generated with the help of AI. Right? That just means AI was used to help. I mean, they don't show the models themselves in terms of topology, so I couldn't tell you if these are like nice models, but like all we get is nanite. I don't know. Yeah. No way to know. Trees look ridiculously high quality. Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's AI. If you take VFX trees and put them into Unreal, they'll be extremely high poly. But also for Nanite, you want high poly trees. This is what you want. This is correct for Nanite. You want every leaf modeled. You don't want cards at all. If you're using Nanite, do not use cards. Do this. So this is proper. So I don't know what part of it is AI, but yeah. How do you? I was kind of this one was lackluster to me. Like, especially after I got the recent my menu that you guys have seen. Like, this one seems lackluster, of course. And then the rest of this, just there's not much going on. So, yeah, I guess. And this again, right? Barely anything here. Yeah, it's free for now. Upload error on the studio site, and to be honest, yeah, it could very well that they accidentally checked the box or something. If you use it in a game, what do you say? What do you mean? Like, whether or not you used AI, you didn't. Like, you personally did not use any AI in the game. If you got assets that were made, at least I would say no, because I can't show where was the AI used. As far as I can tell, AI was not used. But either the AI was used that well. You know, it could also be used, AI was used in the concepting phase. I don't like, right? This is too vague. It's just way too vague. So I would say no, I didn't use AI if I used that pack. Because I personally did not use AI. You still have to disable world position offset on Nanite to get more performance? World position offset always costs a lot of performance. Nanite or not. But I use world position offset all the time at work with Nanite. Yeah, it costs a little bit, but depending on what you're moving and how much, yeah. World position offset is cost per object, not really per triangle. It's per objects. Keep that in mind. If you have 1 million tries on one object with world position offset versus 1,000 triangle objects, the 1 million triangle object will perform better than 1,000 triangle objects, even though triangle count is 1 million and 1 million total. World position offset is the cost is more so per object. From my experience, at least. Yeah, this month's or this 2-week period's free stuff was kind of eh. Having Shadow not updated would be more impactful. Never knew that. That was based on different instances. Unrelated, cool bureau, thank you. Coffee and welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Here it is. I'm gonna drop this. This is whatever. Just notice that anyway. I scale it by 1.5. Jason Cleave. Scale here is all good. So theoretically, thank you, coffee. Much appreciated. Okay, I need to rotate it 180 degrees, I'm pretty sure. And then flip it. Okay, what's the angle here? It's negative 90. Okay, so do I need to do just 90? The reason why I posted the delegate bind system was you forgot that you could attach multiple different delegates to a function input. Yes. You're really making separate functions for each delegate to be bound, unbound. So this just consolidates all the binds. Okay, got it. Yeah, you could absolutely have multiple things bound. Okay, that seems like they're now in line. So if we just turn off this one. I should still have my effect. Yes. And if I give myself cleave, that work? I feel like that didn't work. Also, I've been blocking this view. Go to 10x just to really test this. Just crash your UE. Oh no! Everyone take a shot. No. No, I so everyone don't take a shot. Okay, so that's not working. Why is that not working? Oh, because I am casting to here. You don't have access to this thing. You don't have access to the no. I was getting a gameplay tag. Gameplay tag should still be on anything, but if I gave a gameplay tag to a child and then I cast to the parent, it should still return that it has the gameplay tag, right? Does it not? No, it says true. No, it does. It does. So what's the problem here? You set up Git on this project as you progress. Do it. Or I swapped over to Diversion. And then you don't need to worry about like large file size and all that. So 100 gigs free. So it says 10. The scale is working. After 100 gigabytes, yes. But Git is also not free once you reach those sizes. So oh, wait, hold on a second. Is this the problem? Hold on a second. Print string get world scale. And then do another print string right after that, please. For reference, my game right now is 6 gigs. If I recall, 6 to 8 gigs, I think. Like the full editor and everything else. Okay, 1.7. Yeah, okay. 0.75, I mean. So that's correct. Leave. Oh. Well, this is a lie. This note is just a lie. This word says add local transform. This is just replacing it. This is just a set local transform. That ain't adding anything. Well, there's the problem. Okay. Combine rotators. And then just do these, and then do a multiply here. Let's do this. Does anyone else's PGG EX always have it update when you update it? When you click update, if it finishes updating and it still hasn't updated, Leo, uninstall it and reinstall it. I had that once. If you mean like you updated it and then it just happens to have another update and then you update that and it's good, that means you actually had another update somehow just during that time. But if you like keep updating and it's just never going away, I had that once. Uninstall it, reinstall it, like remove from, you know, the engine version and re-add it to the engine version. Fixes the problem. I don't know why that is, but yep. So Perforce does not have a place online where you can store your files automatically. You store them wherever you want to yourself. Diversion has a, you know, a cloud where you store the files. So does Git. Git, you have to deal with large files, which is a whole pain in the ass setup. Diversion also comes with plugins for people to use inside of Unreal if you want to like actually check out and check in files if you're working with multiple people. So Perforce is the most powerful one, but you have to deal with the hosting yourself. Then Diversion, then Git is what I would do. But for small projects, I don't want to deal with hosting myself, so I don't use Perforce. It's also the most complicated one in terms of everything. We're using Git. Force yourself to test out Perforce and hated it. Now you much prefer Perforce with extended use. Yeah, it's getting used to, but once you're used to it, it's fine. You rather host a backup so it sounds like Perforce is sounding nice? Yeah. And it's free up to 5 people for Perforce. It works. It works. Let's turn it back from 10x to 1.5. But now we have this working. Yeah, it's completely free if you still host. Yeah. So what you can do, Leo, is if you want to, you could use something like Diversion up to 100 gigs, and if it becomes so big that you need to pay and you don't want to pay, then you can progress over to Perforce after that. It's an option, right? But of course, then you need to have all the backups yourself and deal with that. That point, you might as well start off with Perforce. Yeah, if you're okay with hosting it yourself, yeah. If I had a NAS, a network attached storage system, then I might consider doing it, but I don't. And I know that setting up Perforce is a pain in the ass. So I guess it's here. I might be able to remove these attack effects, which is great. The other attack that I have is this one. Copy. Paste. And this one is 1.5 scale. Yeah, version history, branching, reverting files, etc. It's way more than just copy pasting backups to a folder if you just ran locally. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's why it's a pain in the ass to set up. You have all SSDs and are fairly new, so you doubt you'd run into any issues. Yeah. Do it then with Perforce. I just went with diversion because ease of use. Setting up an actual P4V server and hosting it, yeah, is a pain in the ass to do, but setting up locally, surprisingly, not that bad. Oh, really? To be fair, I've not set up locally nor on a server. Perforce. I just hear that it's a very pain in the ass. Welcome in, Clouds. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, okay. Seems like it's working. So effectively, oh, I need to check one other thing. The question then becomes, right, though, if you host locally on Perforce, that's something I don't know. How do I get other people to work on the project with me if I wanted to?
Ads are here.
Would I
Pausing
need to
for ads.
Would I need to give people my local IP versus a hosted thing by someone else where they can potentially download the project without needing my information? Something to consider. That I just thought of. You lose that drive, you lose the project, your backup? Yeah. If the website goes down, you can't sync it, yeah. Working with other people on Perforce and getting their heads around how to use the system was a hair-pulling situation no matter how easy you thought it was. You couldn't control how easy others find it. True. External IP, or you can set up some reverse proxy of sorts. Yeah. Just something to consider, though. Right? It's just something to consider. Okay, cool. So this works. So effectively what I just did is using the new system that I did. I don't know why, until a couple of days ago, I forgot that I could just make functions that happen during animation. Just that part of my brain, I forgot it for months. I was like, right, if I want something happening during animation, I can just make a notify on the animation. I know, crazy thought. And now things are so much easier where I just get rid of all the complicated mess that I had. You know how like on my character I have like all of this that is not needed at all. Why does the Airblade have... What does this one have? The fire attack. I guess better than nothing kind of thing. You would use it if you could have the project and the backup on separate drives. Yeah, you can, of course. You absolutely can. Abso-freaking-lutely. Scale on this 2.2. And I'll rotate 90 degrees on the X. We're making things better. But going back to our previous conversation real quick. Not a long X. Clearly, there's we got nothing in terms of BCG ideas. And you guys are like me, like, ah, shit. all the complicated ideas remain. Yeah, that's what I want, but the scale is wrong. Oh. They put in the scale. 2.2. We found said that has to be accessed from Unreal. The repository has to be in the same folder as the project. No. Otherwise, companies would never be able to use Perforce. Right? Logically. Because then everyone will have the project locally, which couldn't happen. You do sync it to a drive, and then when you sync, upload it, and you download it. But where it's the original, like all the backups happen, are in a different drive. I want to. I'm gonna rename some of these. Not used. Yep. So we're just renaming a few of these that don't use anymore to just not used. There you go. So much better. And where's the regular attack? Basic attack. Attack. Wide. And this is going to be attack. Actually, attack basic wide. I have these next to each other. Do I remove the Airblade ones? Airblade effects. Let's see what it looks like without the effects. Oh wait, I think that's the regular Airblade. Did I? Oh right, I made a custom version for the Airblade. Now I remember. Right, this one's like a bluish color. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna use it. We're gonna use it. And notify track. How is this notify track 1? Why is this 2? I guess let's not question things. Let's just not question it. Just not question. 0.55. You won't be using the main project per se, more the specific stream you're working on derived from the main project. The stream is saved locally and would be controlled by UEFI revision control. Yes, but at any point you can just tell it to, you can just unmark everything as read only, and then you have the full local project basically. If you wanted to, for whatever reason, continue locally without revision control. Yep. It is an option. You have the power, is what I'm saying. It's up to you whether or not you want to use the power. With great power comes great responsibility, I hear. Why does no one in the real world follow that? The more power someone has, the more they abuse it. Unfortunately. Where is... There's heavy. There's the air slash. There we go. Okay. If I turn these off. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Well, what if you don't have absolute power? What if you just have partial power? A PP, if you will. Does a PP corrupt? These are the questions that probably must never be answered. Yeah, okay. There we go. Got that. So now we're good. Every artist is super confused with the whole concept at first. I mean, all Perforce is, or all version control is, assuming you're in a group scenario, is you have to right click and check out files, and when you're done, you have to check them in. That is it. That's all you do. It is at an artist level, that's all you need to know. And when you're connected to revision control, then when you save, like when we make changes and you save, it says, do you want to check out the file? You just hit yes. Assuming you want to actually modify the file. If you're just using it, then you uncheck it, and then that's it. Until you get a 300 changes list with conflicts with 3 different guys on the team. How do you get that? How does that happen? It says this file is checked out, and then you just don't check, you don't click, see, select and make it writable, and then even then you still can't check it out. Like, at that point, you're intentionally not doing what is written. Like that, I feel like that's malicious compliance at that point. I mean, not actually, but like I don't know. If you just check things out, then you're not gonna get it. And the question then becomes also, if you get 3 different guys on the team working on the same file, that is not a question also on the 3 guys. That is a question on whoever is the supervisor tasking 3 guys on the same thing. Right? That's also on the supervisor of those 3 people. Because they should not be all working on the same thing. Why is their task assigned to be the same thing? You prefer yelling across the room, don't touch that file? No, see, I don't, because that means I'm in an office. I'd rather be at home. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'd just rather be at home. How would you throw something at someone when they make a mistake? Oh, easy. I basically throw my supervisor at them. I tell my supervisor, and the supervisor goes and yells at them. I effectively have thrown the supervisor at them. That's a pretty big nuke. I'm not saying I do that, or that's a normal thing, but I'm like, if I need to throw, if it's to the point where I need to throw something, I mean, that's what I'm throwing. Always had conflicts issues for some reason. It was hell. Yeah, that just sounds like people were getting assigned the same thing. Right, because in an ideal world, you don't have 20 people working on the same thing in Unreal. Right, you don't have like 5 people working on an environment in a level, right? I mean, unless it's partitioned, but then everything world partitioned, and then every asset is its own thing. But even then, you must always check out those files, you know. And then either way, nobody should be working in that area then, like, or whatever, you know, whatever it is. Everything should be like I forget the word is. When everything's in its place. No. I hear it somewhat in my head, but I don't have the full word, and it's not coming out at all. you're using Unity, for some reason files weren't set up to be locked or wouldn't get checked out when modified. Oh yeah, well then that would do it. That just sounds like the version control wasn't working, which is a problem, which is a very big problem. Do I have any enemy using this setup? That's the word. That's the word, dude. You knew exactly. Compartmentalize. That. Yes, that. Is there no vowel next between T and M? Is it compartmentalized? But yes, that was the word. That's impressive. That's impressive that you got it. Yay. Let's go find some enemies, because I want to see if any enemies using... I don't think any enemy is using any effect, but I just need to just run through them and just check. Oh, you know what? Bosses might be. Bosses might be. I don't think these guys are, but bosses might be. Like, I think the Steel Claw is. Boink. That's an elite. An elite that didn't get transformed into an elite. Should be, but hey, it's video game production and we're talking about here. It generally should show. I don't think it has to be, though. I think it becomes a shit show above a certain size. But I don't think that's a game dev thing. I think that's an everything thing. Once a company gets to certain size, it just becomes more and more of a shit show, because it becomes more and more like walls to get anything figured out and done. Every company worked out big and small. Some shit is holding the duct tape left, right. In a small company, when something is like that, you can get it changed pretty quickly, though. Typically. Let's go check out the bosses. So what the hell am I making a video on for Sunday? Crap. I might just go on ChatGPT and just ask it for like ideas. Even though I say that like I haven't done that already. I have definitely done that already. Yeah, you have an effect. This system also allows, like, fixes so many things. I'm glad. Okay, so you boss here. Offset, probably 100 is probably gonna be enough. It's just 1.0. With the camera, shake scale probably needs to go somewhere else. Okay. Oh, I copied the wrong thing. Good job, me. I remember the first company I worked at ever was for when I was working on 21 Jump Street. And for the first couple of weeks, we were using old Macs. Thankfully, that didn't last long. And we got proper PCs. Yeah, just Macs don't quite work great. Yeah. I mean, they might be a little bit better these days, but really, you shouldn't be doing 3D on a Mac. Let's just be honest here. Like, last I checked, even Unreal doesn't have all features enabled on a Mac to this day. And back then was 2011. I graduated in 2011. And so back then, especially, things were not set up. As far as you're concerned, you shouldn't do anything on a Mac, but hey, that's just you. I mean, you can watch videos. Yeah, absolutely. I hear there are some things that are nice on a Mac. Apparently there's some editing software or something that's nice, but I don't know. I use DaVinci Resolve. It's great. So, yeah. Okay, so seems like we're good with you. Ooh. Do you have a bunch of effects? You don't. We never gave you effects for your just attacks, which is good. Makes my life easier. Okay, let's not deal with that. Yeah, good. You're a self-diagnosed Mac hater? I don't hate Macs. I hate people that will make whatever thing seem bigger than it is, or talk about it like it's, oh my god, you gotta do X thing or have this thing or whatever. So that includes Mac, like Mac people that are like, oh my god, do you get the new Mac? Come on, Mac. iPhone, X, Y, right? Do not like that. Same thing with when people are like, have you considered switching to Linux? Same thing. Don't like it. I'm fine with people I don't care about either one. People want to use it, they're completely free to do it. I just don't like things forced upon me, or people are trying to force me to do a certain thing. That is what I don't like. But what it is itself, I don't care. If people want to use iPhones, if people want to use Linux, people want to use XYZ, do not care. Have fun, enjoy, as long as you're happy with it. Absolutely, go nuts. Just don't try to shove it down my throat. And that's for anything. As long as whatever the people, whoever's doing or enjoying or whatever is, you know, is not being shoved down my throat, I'm happy. You're like the iPhone of computers. I mean, people really like iPhones in the US. Mac just reminds you of Rick and Morty Butter Robot. Your purpose is to compose for macOS and iOS. Yeah, that's another one, Leo. Yeah. As long as whatever it is, people don't try to force it down my throat, I'm perfectly happy. I don't think any of these have actual effects. Good. Yep. I don't think you have effects either. So this effects thing has camera shake, which I need to, and head stop. I need to move that, or I guess I could just keep that as its own thing and just rename that to, I can keep it attack effects. Just remove the, all the effect part. Like all of this can just go away. All this.
Ads are here. Pausing for ads.
That's fine. I just try to ask ChatGPT for help with PCG ideas. This is what it gave me. Even ChatGPT is like, I don't know what the hell you want from me. There's no more ideas for PCG. We're all out. Even ChatGPT's no, fuck you. We're done. No more PCG videos. You're out. We have no more content. Can I click refresh? Guys, I broke ChatGPT. I broke PCG. I broke ChatGPT. Okay, there we go. Just new chat works. Oh, you can't. Right, I can't open it from here. Which one was it? Attack effects. Okay. Oh, okay, it's done. Let's take a look. Make a PCG system that grows crystal formations dynamically on cave walls based on light intensity. I have a video sort of like that. Hey, no one. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Pull it up. So I have this where I can mask thing by the light. But it doesn't mask by it. I don't know. That will not be easy to do. That would not be easy. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna, where's my notepad? I'm gonna write it down just in case. Create a PCG tool that scatters debris only in areas near destroyed buildings using distance checks. Yeah, Skronak, it would be more complicated than that, exactly. Even if it's just light on off would also be, I mean, everything has some light, right? So it would need to be, yeah, a little more complex, but scatters debris only in areas near destroyed buildings using distance checks. That's not exactly simple to do. In materials, you have distance field. But it's not like you can access distance field in PCG. So I don't know how you would do this one. Automatically generate climbing vines that allow wall geometry and wrap around corners. How? I would love to. You could spawn things, but how it would be automatically wrapping around corners and stuff like that? The only way you could do that is with... One thing I was considering is you can use a mesh sampler combined with a pathing with pathfinding to create effectively a vine from one point to another. But how you do the rest of it? Don't have a good solution. Because that's like a single vine. You obviously don't want just a single vine. And there's so many good ways of doing it with like that people have done already that don't require PCG that I don't think there's a point of setting it up. PCG node that's set up that detects terrain slope and switches between snow, rock, and grass measures. I mean, that's just a normal to mesh, or sorry, a normal to density node and density filter for terrain slope. And you can do a height, elevation, also an elevation mask. That's not really that interesting. Spawn fog volumes only in low-lying or enclosed areas using height sampling. Is there any way to detect crevices? I don't think there is, right? Yeah, most of this stuff doesn't sound like actual PCG stuff, but just thinking, like, is there a way of detecting a small versus large area? I don't think there is. By the smell. No, I don't think that's possible. It's an interesting idea, though. I'm gonna note this down. I don't think it's gonna be possible to do, but I'm just gonna note it down. PCG graph that builds small campsites dynamically along player paths or trails. I mean, that just on a spline spawns some stuff with an offset. That's not interesting. Generate a PCG-based junkyard where items stack believably using trace-based height alignment. I have wanted to do a PCG like pile of rocks, or a pile of XYZ, doesn't matter, whatever it is. The problem is always you can't just put it on top. It has to naturally like fall, and you can only do that with physics. And there's already nice ways of there's already nice tools that use physics-based simulation to make these piles, because then after you spawn it all, you can control make it all into instance meshes. But PCG is just not. You need to use collisions. Yeah, it can't really do it. Spawns bioluminescent plants that react to player proximity in real time. I mean, that is basically instance actors, which I've done videos on. I don't think that's interesting enough to make a video by itself. Place broken columns and ruins based on terrain, curvature, and angle. Again, that's just a normal to density filter. Build randomized streetlight placements that aligns perfectly with the road spline meshes. I could use the new Polygon 2D stuff to do this now. I could use the Polygon 2D stuff. I did this with PCG EX. Right, I did this with PCG EX. You could do this with a nice offset, but now you can do this with Polygon 2D. So I might that's not a terrible idea. That's not a terrible idea. Generate a PCG forest with a natural animal trails cut dynamically through the foliage. That just makes some foliage and do some cutouts. That's nothing exciting there. PCG cave interior generator that avoids yep, I already created that. Actually. I already did a PCG cave, basically. Populates underwater coral based on terrain, color, or depth. See, the depth is easy because you just check the z-axis and you can filter by z-axis. Terrain color is a little more complicated, but you wouldn't want it to be tied to color. Biome, sure, but then that's just biome sampling. Use PCG to spawn treasure chests only near landmarks or points of interest in the level. If you have those points tagged, you just spawn from those. Generate procedural fences that automatically conform to terrain height variations. Just have it be projected onto a landscape. Done. Replaces grass with stones where footsteps frequently occur. Wear simulation. So you would spawn grass. So at this point, from there, it would stop being the PCG, which is fine. It would go to blueprints. You would spawn the grass, and then wherever the player is, you would add in a radius around them, sort of like my sort of like this video, where, right, things are popping up, but instead of things popping up, what could be done is I store those pebbles as information, or I scale them down at a certain point. Once they're low enough, they get removed and a new component is added for pebbles. Hello, okay, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Happy anniversary of starting mobile existence. Can I have a PC existence instead? So sorry. Sorry. This might be interesting. I'll write it down. Make a PCG system that procedurally builds collapsed structures from blueprint pieces. I mean, I don't even know how you would do that. Well, one day we will transfer consciousness to digital form. I don't know if I want to do that. You know, it's a question of, like, if you could have a robotic arm, would you? And I don't think I would. Like, let's say this is like more advanced. We're in freaking cyberpunk here. I still don't think I would want to. So I don't think I'd want to have my consciousness in it. You know how many ads you'd see if you uploaded your consciousness to a device? It'd just be ads all the time. If you have a chef arm, yeah. I mean, look, I can already cook without a robotic arm. One thing I wanted to do is make a PCG system that visually appears like and builds itself, but that's more like material stuff, and no, it's a whole thing. I think someone did do this actually. Spawn magical runes on flat surfaces only when aligned to player-facing walls. that is, I mean, yeah, you could spawn them, but then they're just spawned. I think what this is really would be interesting is if somehow you would look around and they would only be where if your views would disappear from the others. But you wouldn't do that with just some static meshes. All the tools? Okay, so not just a chef arm. You want a multi-tool, I get it. Build a PCG system that spawns glowing mushrooms only under overhangs or shaded areas. Overhangs are easy. Right? You could easily do an overhang. All you would need to do is like, let's say you're doing it in a landscape. Landscape sample the area. And then move the points up and then project down. If it hits something, right, then it'll be on top of that thing instead of on the landscape now. And then anything that's overlapping on the landscape, remove. And you're left with just the points under the overhangs. So, problem is it's not shaded areas, right? It's literally overhangs, which is easy to do. Species that spawns moss that faces water. Faces water in what sense? Like in front of me there's water, or like below me there's water? Because if in front of me there's a river somewhere, that'll be challenging. So if you on rocks and trees, okay, but how do you tell where the water is? Like, let's say there's a river and the river curves. How do you tell where the direction of the river is? Like, the idea is good, I think. But the problem is, how would you tell where X thing is when it's not a single point? I think that's the problem. Could be point sampling along the river and doing it per point thing. Yeah, but then again, but how do you know it's facing right? It's, you can do distance stuff, but that, I don't think that gets you what you want, or rather what Leo wants. I mean, it's an interesting idea. I'll write it down, honestly. I don't know if it's one of those things that can be done, but I'll write it down. Single point is easy. Single point is easy. It's the fact a river or a lake is a big area, right? So the problem is, here's a lake, here's a tree, okay? All of these faces face towards a lake. This is a lake, or this is a river. This is a tree. All of these faces here face towards a river, in a sense. Do you see the problem? Do you see how this becomes difficult? And like there's a river in this direction in general. So the idea I really like, but because of the two bodies of water not being single points, it becomes difficult. Especially because, right, it's a tree or something, right, it's rounded, so it faces multiple angles. It's not like facing only one direction. I like the idea, but glowing mushrooms, decorate cliffs and moss hanging roots based on humidity maps. I mean, that's just using texture maps and spawning based on that. Create a system that auto places traps in dungeon corridors based on room size and shape. That is something, I mean, I haven't figured out how to even spawn a custom room size and shape. But really, if you wanted to do something like this, you could, no, you could do this by doing like spawning level instances and then swap and then do the same seed, and then based on the seed, it will match. It's not elegant. There's ways to do this, but it's not elegant. Also, with you, what cannot be done, do or do not, there is no try. Well, I need to figure out, if I am to do this and teach people how to do this, I need to be able to figure out how to do it myself. And if I don't have a idea of how to do something, then low chances of me being able to make a video on it and be like, oh yeah, here's how you do this. Build a PCG graph that simulates erosion, gradually replacing grass meshes with rock as slope increases. I mean, that again, that's just a density noise. Not density noise, normal to density, and then density noise. Generate procedural bridges between cliffs automatically using trace detection. Someone's doing a video on, I know someone's doing a video that's basically this. Even though I know how to do what exactly they're doing and I help them with it, I'm not gonna because of that, I'm not gonna make a video on it. No, because I feel like that'd be cruel and unusual punishment. Maybe after them, if there's something I feel like it can be like added onto, but not before. Make a PCG system that dynamically populates NPC camps that evolve. More tense fires the longer you play. That's not PCG. That's just a blueprint that over time you can just swap things out. Or not even a blueprint. You don't need a blueprint. Just certain event triggers. Just take all the ashes, all the things, and just swap them out for something else. That really doesn't have much to do with PCG. Like, if game time equals this, here's all the variable, here's all the references to all the actors, set new mesh, done. Or like maybe it's a blueprint actor that has like mesh 1, 2, 3, 4, and it just increments after time. You know, whatever it is. Swap pack level actor on a blueprint event call, pretty much, yeah. Use PCG to spawn props that automatically lean against nearby walls for realism. I have no way of doing that. Because lean is dependent on the shape of the thing. There's no like if you have perfect cubes, right? There is potentially some math you can do to figure out a lean if the wall is here, right? You figure out it needs to lean this. Like you could figure that out. But what if your shape is like, you know, like this? What if your shape is this? Right? Just any other shape. How does that lean? I'd love to figure that out. But effectively what you would need to be done is somehow like rotate it and keep rotating it and checking if it intersects with something. And if it intersects with something, stop rotating it. But then the rotation would also need to be, right? The rotation would be at the pivot. So it means you need to offset the pivot, right? Because it's even more complicated than that. Like, right, even on a book, your pivot might be here, but you want to angle from here. Right, this is where you actually would rotate from. So you need to also not only rotate this, you need to move it up, because otherwise it would be like this, and then move it over, right? It's such a complex thing that if you're using physics, easy peasy. If you're doing actual, like, oh, let me do the math on this, dear God.
Ads are here. Pausing for ads.
It doesn't enable, exactly. It's just physics. Didn't even think of the pivot point. Yeah, that's why physics is the way to do it. Watched a video about it. The studio had it lean towards the wall, enacted physics, waited 5 seconds, and locked it down. Yeah, yeah. You can do that for sure. But the physics, right, would need to be like, you need to be very good at setting up physics. And so, because otherwise, if you lean something, it's gonna slide down potentially. But what if it needs to be heavy enough where it just leans and doesn't, right? You need to know physics a lot, in Unreal specifically. You're like, oh yeah, that's gonna just behave this way. I'm not there with physics, unfortunately. Over time, you realize you might not be book smart, but you're clever to point where you can figure things out. Good. Build a PCG tool that procedurally scatters floating islands with connecting vines or chains. That is the same thing as this one. Create a PCG cave entrance finder that decorates terrain indentations as entrance automatically. That's just a mesh sampler. Spawn whatever you want. Is there a way to search your blueprints for a specific thing? They are trying to find where you left your do once. Yeah, just in your blueprint, just search. Find results. Type it in. You can use this button to search all blueprints. If you don't see it, just window, find results. Use PCG to generate magical energy veins that across the terrain that pulse and fade over. That's just spawn things on terrain that has a material. Make a PCG setup that detects overhangs and spawns hanging lanterns or banners automatically. So this, again, is the same thing as the other one. The glowing mushrooms under overhangs. Effectively. But this one's easier, actually. Hey, Joe, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Thank you. This one's easier. The only thing is, figuring out where an overhang is would be more difficult. So figuring out where an edge of something is difficult. I can put something like from below, basically. That's easy. But yeah, there's no good way of finding where an outline is. Generate procedural wreckage from vehicles or ships that dynamically aligns with the terrain slope. Again, just project onto terrain, done. I have 6 things written down, and not all of them are doable. So I have make a BCG system that grows crystal formations dynamically on cave walls based on light intensity. I'm gonna move this into the no idea but wanted section. Let's just start with that. Procedure spawn fog volumes only in low-lying areas goes there as well. Use BG to build randomized streetlight placement that aligns. Yeah, so this one I could possibly do now. Polygon 2D. BCG tool that replaces grass with stones where footsteps frequently occur. Possibly can do now. Build a BCG setup that spawns glowing mushrooms only under overhangs or shade areas, can do now. And BCG system that spawns moss that faces water. That's a no idea how to, but want to. I got 3. You know, it's a start. I'll see what else it comes up with, but and then we'll continue where we were. Then you have to do search with the name, not just type of node. Oh, it's the name of the node. It works. No, you're gonna find every single do once in the entire project. You're gonna find a lot of do once. But you can see where in what function it is when you search. So just grab the one under your function or whatever it is. Or if you know which one it is, don't click the search all button. Just search do once inside of whatever that is. And you'll show you where it is. Make a BCG grab that automatically grows roots or tendrils from trees into nearby terrain. Creating roots for a tree is interesting, actually. Potentially. I'm gonna write that down. Create a PCG system that spawns ruins around existing meshes, as if nature. Yeah, again, there's no like just check for an area around things unless you spawn the runes already with BCG. Detect edges of cliffs procedurally spawn safety rails or warning signs. Would love to. Do not have a way of checking finding that though. Unless someone knows. I'd love to know how to do this. PG setup that procedurally fills caves with hanging web clusters that connect between walls. That could be interesting. That could be interesting. Basically, just not even specifically web, it could just be ropes that just hang between 2 sets of walls. Could be interesting. Do some of the procedural vegetation? Yeah, but it could also be done with a bunch of spline meshes. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think you can do... The problem will be overlaps on that one. How do you detect overlaps and remove overlaps? Because you can't do that in a spline mesh. I guess what you would need to do is spline non-meshes effectively, then remove them. So you need to simulate non-spline meshes, then remove them, the ones that are overlapping. It would not be simple. It would not be simple. I'll make a section from just more complex, but it's doable. Generate a PCG system that creates small lore dioramas, skeletons, broken weapons, and props in random spots. I mean, that's just PCG in a nutshell. Pick a random spot and spawn things there. You see something like that done with AGI? Oh yeah, with Houdini, very simple to do. Houdini is extremely powerful. They can do that with, you know, with eyes closed. Use PCG to build small ponds or puddles, not puddles, dynamically in terrain depressions. Again, not really something that's doable. We don't have a way of finding, like, areas like that. If I could have like a way of like basically reading an AO, basically, I mean, really what I want is yeah, effectively an AO or distance field. Well, there's no way of getting that. Make water under your landscape that shows through. Yeah, but what if you want it at different elevations? This assumes different elevations, I think. Or I would assume different elevations with this. It's a little more complex. Make a PC system that spawns torches that light up progressively along a player path. I was talking about this. This one's very simple to do using instanced actors. Does this seem interesting at all to you guys? Like, I feel like this one's very simple to do. PC system that spawns torches that light up progressively along, like as the player walks by, the lights turn on. Like this is very simple to set up, and they will turn off behind you. Basically, I don't know. Like that seems like I could do that very simply. It will be a very short tutorial. I don't think it's worth it. PCG rock generator? I mean, do you mean like create a procedural rock? The problem with anything procedural, like using geometry script in Geo, really, is the problem with auto UV. Right now, that is the biggest hurdle with making anything auto mesh in with anything, is the UVing part. You have so many seams, and like, unless if you use a world align material or triplanar, yeah, then you're fine. But that's an expensive material for just some rocks. But if you're fine with that, then yes, you could potentially do that. Yeah, that sounds interesting. The torches thing, Jasmine? Is that what you're referring to? You gonna mess with your lighting setup? Yeah, okay. I'll write it down. I don't promise it anytime soon, but I'll write it down. You gonna mess with your lighting setup? And with my help, you reduce it to about 1/8 of the nodes? Nice. These species to scatter unique mini biomes with a larger terrain. Hey, I already made a video on this. I made my own biome system. Done. Dynamically places snow piles on or ice sheets based on normal direction. Okay. The amount of times it basically does different versions of this is very high. It's just normal to density, density filter. Like, so much are gonna be done with this. Normal to density, density filter. Build if you're wondering how do you get the information of the meshes, just project down, you get have it auto angle, and then go from there. Build a PCG graph that procedurally places gravestones aligned with terrain and random rotation variation. Hey, that is like PCG in a nutshell. Spawn things randomly and rotate them randomly. My god, people need tutorials for that. Use PCG to spawn windmills or turbines only where wind direction and strength data are high. That is basically use a texture sampler and then spawn based on texture sampler. Done. Create a PCG tool that builds tiny procedural villages using randomized building cluster and paths. Yeah, that's a city generator. That's moving along. Creating a PCG system that grows coral structures upward from the seabed using raycasts for height limits. A coral structure is like... What is a coral structure? Coral structure does not give me what I was expecting. Coral structure gives me the biology of coral. Not what I was looking for. If it means this, then I mean that's just spawn some rocks, pick some points, and spawn some coral on them. Moving along. Build a PCG tool that spawns fireflies that hover only near flowers or glowing plants. That's just spawn some actors that have all this logic. Procedure generate fences that auto connect to nearby posts. That is more so creating fences that, or creating, that is more so creating regular fences and then having posts that have logic to automatically connect to the fence. The post would have the logic to automatically connect. Create a PCG setup that detects open plains and populates them with herds of creatures. Again, regular spawner. Regular spawner. Use PCG to decorate ceilings with hanging roots, vines, or dripping. Select just regular spawner. For 16. I don't know if I did a better one, but I showed a grammar one. It's a lot slightly different than that, but yeah. I'll take the compliment. Make a PCG system that procedurally places magical barriers or glyphs at choke points in a dungeon. Again, I need a way of detecting, like, are there 5 points wide? Are there 10 points wide? Like areas like that. Like that would open up a lot of things. But I don't think I have any way of detecting stuff like that. So we can't do it. Generate procedural stone walls that curve naturally along splines and snap neatly at corners. I mean, that is basically my cave system tutorial. Yeah, it's just doing versioning on like stuff it already did. Dynamic environment storytelling, like trails of blood leading to a cave. Yeah, sure, put some decals on a spline, done. Detects water proximity and spawns reeds, lilies, and frogs accordingly. I mean, okay, that is, your water is probably going to be on a spline or something like that. Do an offset from there. Go from there. I would put it on a spline. Maybe a tool that procedurally scatters campfires, each with different cooking. Yeah, this again, same thing as before. Carve out paths in grass for AI. Other players frequently walk. It literally did a similar one earlier. Auto spawns floating debris or smoke around recently destroyed objects. That is better to be done as a blueprint function or something like that on the objects when they're destroyed. They just spawn smoke. PCG is not needed there. Assuming that it's procedurally destroyed, like at runtime rather. If it's destroyed already, then just place some floating debris to make it actually look correct for the area instead of randomly. Generates beehives or nests in tree branches automatically. How would you do that? Sample a tree. Like if I was to imagine like spawning a cube, you have to figure out where the cube can fit. So really what you would need to do is mesh sample the tree, if it's possible to even do. I don't even know if mesh sampling a tree is possible with a new system. Because it's not a mesh. It's not a static mesh you can sample. It's its own thing now. I don't think it's even possible to do that. Yeah, I'm not sure how you do that now. With the new tree system, we need to see how the new system works. Scatter treasure piles that grow larger near boss arenas. Just have a control to procedurally change the size of your piles and just give that to the artist that's placing them. They'll do a better job than the procedural thing. You don't want linear progression. You want a little bit of variation, which an artist will be able to do compared to just it automatically just getting bigger. Detects roof areas and populates them with snow buildup or leaves. Again, we don't have a way of finding edges. I could ask Adrian about some of this stuff, but I don't think he's going to have answers for this. Hanging banners again. Dungeon walls with torches spaced evenly by distance check. That's simple. That's just put it on a spline, basically. Project the spline, or I mean, the even distance. You shouldn't do even distance. So, no, I'm not even gonna humor that. If you're putting up torches on walls, do not make them even distance. That becomes like torches on walls is man-made. Man-made things like that are not machine-made are not gonna be perfect. They should not be equal distance perfectly. So you shouldn't do this anyway. It'll be more interesting if you don't. Spawns dynamic waterfalls that adapt to terrain height. I mean, that's just a water sim, which I cannot do. Replace cliff's edges again. Cliff edges, cliff edges, cliff edges. Gross crystalline clusters only near metal-rich rocks. If you're spawning the rocks, you can spawn things around it. It becomes easy. Or for the rocks, give them a tag, copy points node, and then spawn things around it. Very simple to do. Not worth a tutorial. Create a PCG system that decorates the boss arenas dynamically with environmental cues, skulls, weapons. I mean, that's just that's just a regular PCG scatter. Interactable traps only on specific materials. I just make areas where, like, hey, I can spawn traps here, I can spawn traps here. I'd rather do it with zones. Because there might be a scenario where, yeah, you have it set up to always spawn on wood, and you just, on this area, I don't want to spawn on this wood. Because it's just stairs, you know, or whatever it is. So, there's no good way of getting the material anyway, but even if I could, I don't think I'd want this as a control. Builds collapsed bridges or broken railings dynamically. I mean, that I've made bridges tutorial, so I'm gonna avoid not do that again. Spawn birds that perch on fences. Again, that edges. Randomized forgotten camp with collapsed tents and scattered items. Just a regular scattering of stuff. Patches of fog. Yep, valleys. Yeah, it's rehashed a lot of stuff for this one. Visual indicators for sound sources. ECG-based visual indicators for sound sources. Rip grass. This. You don't want to do this procedurally. You want to put them in specific areas. It'll be better. So really, I've added like two. I've added two things to my list. I added make a BCG graph that automatically grows roots or tendrils from trees into nearby terrain, which is doable. Not simple, but it's doable. And build a PCG setup that procedurally fills caves with hanging web clusters that connect between walls. Also doable, but more complex. I might, so you know what? I might do this one. This first one is I might do for this Sunday. Use BCG to build randomized streetlights placement that align perfectly with road spline meshes. So what I could do is spawn a road using the new Polygon 2D, and along the road, I can spawn lamps that are equidistant away from that road. And I can have them be equally distant from each other, not relative to the bend. Because the problem that I have a lot of times, right, with regular bends is if this is your curve, right, this inner side, whereas the outer side, right, is different. And so if you have three, like distance here of 3 will become distance here of 3, because that's what it is. So you wouldn't want 3 here. You'd want relative to itself. But I don't know if the Polygon 2D, if there's a way of getting these paths at all separately. It might be just part of the Polygon 2D and it might not be possible. We'll see. We'll see. We got some stuff written down, so yay. How do you do different footstep sounds for different materials then, if you're not checking the material? No, there's ways of doing that, like in blueprints and stuff. It's just in PCG specifically, you don't have access to everything. That's all. Is there a physical material nodes in the project settings? Yeah. Yeah. I like the idea of, you know, all the edge stuff, but edge stuff and like crevices and all that good kind of stuff. But yeah, we don't have access to that. Only problem is we don't have access to that. Oh, it's only done in one place. Good. definitely done here, so we can just remove this. So I just remove this. And then we have... Oh, just double check current attack. Yeah, just passing through the current attack info, which then got me my Niagara effect stuff. So I can just remove all of that, which is great. Now this is under... here. Do I just kill it? I think we just kill it. Goodbye to this entire thing. We've replaced you with something much better. Couldn't you use PCG to spawn a mesh that has a box for where its edges are? That's a... I'm not sure I follow.
Ads are here. Pausing for ads.
Not sure I follow. I'm gonna get a drink. I'll be right back. I'm back. If you could elaborate, Skronik, that'd be great. And what do you mean by that? A glider box that tells the stuff where not to spawn or where to spawn. Okay, what is a glider box, and how would it tell it where to spawn or not to spawn? Like, I could spawn meshes, sure, but that's not going to tell me on the mesh that I want where an edge is, right? Where is like a sharp edge compared to just a slight curve or whatever it is. I don't think I fully understand. I'm pretty sure. Can I kill all of these down? And will things cry? Hey, look at that! Oh, wait, what happened here? What happened? What happened? Why is that? You're fine. Are you behind? Why are you? Oh, it's because I'm. Okay, I understand. It's because before it was doing add local offset. Okay, which is doing it differently than this one, which is global offset. Right. Okay. Fine. So we want this to continue. And we do the local offset here. Because otherwise that is global offset. Scale and everything else I think is fine. Boink. Yep. Good. 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 Excellent. Okay, we're good. Things are working. Excellent. Okay, so we basically just got rid of a bunch of stuff there. Oh, that's so nice. It's so much less stuff here. Where is this still being used? Where is this still being used? Oh, I think this is where this. Wait, is it not being used anywhere? Hold. I just get rid of that. I mean, yeah, that, okay. No errors. Yeah, okay, cool. Another thing gone. Great. What is this item pickup? Room manager, meta collection spawner. Hold on. Why is this? No, this is different. This is okay. Here, let me read. The way to get around the problem of things having partially same name is this one. Item pickup. And now when you do find references, it is like very easy to find specifically this one, which is no longer being used. Right? I don't think I need to use this anywhere. The whole becoming elite, not becoming elite, we need to fix. But let me go pick up the meta item here. See the E? Oh, the E should go away after I pick it up. I got it. Exit. Yep, no errors. Sweet. I just got rid of so much stuff. Then am I using? I think I'm using this one. Although I don't know why I would be using this one. No. Great. Bye. I love how I reordered everything. This one I'm pretty sure I'm using though. Yes. Yes. Oh, look how much cleaner that is. Oh, that's so much nicer. All because I remembered that I could put stuff in my animations. You need some kind of see-through for when the player is behind some. Oh yeah. I know. I haven't gone there yet. The other thing that's I had to scale up the. Oh, hold on. Is there something I actually removed that needed? This one's center. This is pointless. The center of the player is its actual location. Oh, but I'm attaching it to the player's. Although the no, get capsule component. That's the same location. Capsule component is in the center. So. Oh, but I said the relative. Oh, okay. Okay, I got it. Fine, I'll bring that one back. This is the unless I spawn it in later, but basically this is the orbiting orbs center. I should spawn it later and attach it, but it's fine, it can stay here. I got rid of a lot. Yeah, so what I was saying is this entire environment here is scaled 2x compared to what the meshes actually are, which is why these stairs here look absolutely massive. Like compared to him, right? That step is very high. And same thing with the grass. If you look at the grass here, let's go full screen. Right, the grass is quite, like the blades are quite big. Everything is big compared to the character, because basically all the pieces are scaled 2x. Because I just needed more area, and so I was like, you know what? Let me just. So when I do other rooms, in the end, yeah, I'll do. I'll set it up properly. If I go here. Let's go unlit. So yeah, if every one of these is 2x. That's what it should be. To the stairs and all that good stuff. I have considered putting in or trying to put in or rather make a little editor utility widget that allows me to select the items, and it would like automatically scale it down and then position it. But I was like, it's fine. It's fine. This is all temporary testing stuff, so. Okay, well, I got done with the thing that I wanted, which is to freaking figure out a video to make for Sunday. I mean, we also cleaned up some stuff. These are all working, which is great. Yes, I did watch that, Leo. The first half of it was like, I didn't catch most of it on the first half just because there's a lot of terminology and words that I didn't understand. And then I think by the end of it, I was like, okay, now I understand kind of what's going on. I'm starting to click things together. I don't know how I feel about the whole thing. I didn't see, keep in mind, I never finished the second campaign. I got very far into it, but never finished it. I never watched the third one. So with that in mind, I'm not a fan of the whole rotating casts thing at the current moment. And I think that's what they're going to be doing. Because there's so many people that I have trouble with. I have trouble with like remembering people. So for me, this was a very difficult one to follow. But, you know, we'll see where it goes. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. Because it was like at one point, all right, like I understand that they leave and like they make it make sense, but at the same time, yeah, it's a D&D thing. I would love to play D&D. It's been a while since I played D&D. The problem with D&D is I was a DM of my last games that I played, and it's just, it takes so much time. You started in campaign 3, watched all of campaign 1 during the downtime of campaign 3. I watched clips of campaign 1. I didn't watch the entire thing. I've watched the online Legend of Vox Machina, though. But yeah, I'd love to play D&D. There's so many characters I would love to play, but I was stuck as the DM. So. The only way for me to play characters would be to make them all villains. You completed campaign 2. Campaign 2, I got far. I think I got either nearly 100 episodes or 100 episodes. So I did the majority of it. I don't remember why I stopped. I remember for the longest time, I mean, even to this day, Jester annoyed the crap out of me. I will say, for anyone that watched campaign 2 of Critical Role, Jester was oh my god. And nothing against the person who's acting. I know it's an act, a great act. 5 out of 5 star would recommend for the voice acting, but my god. Viva La Dirt League. Oh, those guys are awesome. Viva La Dirt League stuff is like it's great. I get their stuff recommended for shorts from time to time, but I remember a while back I watched a bunch of their stuff. Their entire NPC Man series was like, I think was very high up. I would recommend looking up Viva La Dirt League and NPC Man. Great stuff. Yeah. One day I'll have I'll be able to play D&D. Online though is tough. This is the other thing. Is I played online with people, and it's tough. C1 is like Avengers, C2 is like, I don't know, Suicide Squad by different, C3 is like X-Men. Yeah. I don't know. I never watched campaign 3. I don't know why. I think it's because I never finished campaign 2. I didn't feel right starting campaign 3. And by the time I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll want to watch some more D&D. It ended up being already like so far into campaign 3. I'm like, oh, whatever. Screw it, I'll just wait. Here we are in campaign 4. I'll watch that. See how it goes. You like to play also, but like me, you get tired of having to DM all the time. Yeah, that's the problem. No one wants to DM. I enjoy DMing, but the DMing takes a lot of time. And I don't know, like the group that I was with were not as invested as I was in D&D, and that's very demoralizing. Like, I'm glad they were enjoying the game. At least they told me they were. Even after, like, a long time after we stopped. Either you say, hey, enjoyed the game. But, right, when I'm, like, putting all this effort in and it doesn't feel like it's the same from the other side, it is a little demoralizing, so. End up stopping because it was a party. I stopped at a TPK, and then I was busy. This was when there was a bunch of hectic stuff IRL was happening, and I was like, okay, good time to stop. I don't know that one, Leo. There's a few things that I watched from campaign 1. One of them that I have watched is Will, crap, what's his last name? Will I forget his last name. Shit, the Dice Curse Man. Dice Curse Man. Will Wheaton, yes. Will Wheaton. If you guys have never seen it, look up Will Wheaton Dice Curse. It is a great video of just that man cannot roll dice well and is hilarious. I watched that. I watched the splattering on the beach of Marisha. That's all I'll say. I watched a few clips, but anyway. Yeah. I'll go from there. Tomorrow we'll go back to actually doing more game dev. Yeah, we're gods. Yeah, that one. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I saw that one. I saw multiple versions of that one when it was animated as well. It was great. So I watched a few moments from there. I remember when it was happening, I didn't watch it mostly because of the audio quality. Audio quality wasn't great, and that's the only reason I didn't watch it. Or like I heard about it, I like checked it out, and I'm like, and left. Yeah, tomorrow we'll set up the 4th hotbar attack. I need to figure out I need names probably for these attacks, and we need to figure out where to put the description on that. I'll go, well, you know, little by little, but you know, it's looking good. Hey, you thrown it. Yeah, I definitely got a lot better. So Names? Well, like, I don't know, like, you got me. Well, like, right, like, I feel like the attacks should have names and descriptions. But again, I need to figure out how to do the description and names on a controller. I guess, how does Diablo do it? Diablo has controller support. I need to figure out how Diablo does it. I imagine they have the description somewhere. Yeah, hover over is on mouse, but how do you do it on controller? What do you do with controller? There is no hover over. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for all the birthday wishes and the and all the good stuff. And I'll be back tomorrow. Or game dev. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.